and hearing their very relevant material. On behalf of my co-chair, Suzanne Zbinden, and the rest of the District Training Committee, we sincerely thank all of the expert presenters without whom we obviously could not run an event like this. We appreciate you. Our AV team contributes enormously behind the scenes and ensures success in everything we do, especially in this challenging time of virtual training. Thank you to that team of Clarence Haverson, Mary Brady, and Darren Sweeney for setting such a high standard in all they do for the district. All of the sessions, as you may know, are recorded and have been posted on the district website on the CLT landing page. Please enjoy them on demand and tell your fellow members about them. They'll be left up on the site indefinitely and could be used within your clubs, for example, as well as individual viewing. Please use these great resources in your various committees. Once again, it's my pleasure to thank all of the attendees. We hope we can look ahead to in-person training again, along with the great fellowship that always provides. So thank you for a week of great successes and for your attention. I'm going to hand it over to Rudy and say, hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you very much, Patricia, and thank you everyone for, again, for all the time that you've put in to help your community and to work with Rotary and to attend training sessions. Our training team has done a tremendous job with this year's training, especially since a lot of it had to be reinvented, to be changed, or to be presented in a sort of a contemporary manner, so that we are taking into consideration all the challenges of COVID and all of that we have been placed into. Unfortunately, again, we are in a heavy lockdown, and I just hope and pray that soon this whole thing will be over and we'll be able to get together again and get to shake hands and talk to each other and share a meal together. I'm going to share my screen now, and basically what I'm going to do is go through some slides. This is a closing remarks that I had prepared, and unfortunately I'm still having some back issues, so if I'm a little bit slow, please bear with me. I have a bit of a brain fog from the medication, so thank you very much, and I do appreciate your patience, and let's go. Just want to make sure that
you're good, Rudy.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I have the sound also on. Share sound. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to see you and to be able to join you again today. As we come to the end of club leadership training this year, take some time to reflect on what you've learned and what to look forward to. Because I also learned a lot from our trainers. I had the privilege to attend a few of the training sessions, and I thought that they were done in an incredible way. A few weeks ago, more than 750 Rotarians, Rotaractors, and guests from our district and the world had a chance to listen to the Right Honorable Justice McLachlin and Jennifer Jones talk about leadership challenges in today's world. It was a moderated discussion by Sandra Pupatello, who was a Crown provincial minister, sorry about that. And Justice McLachlin's main message was that only a strong conviction will give you the courage to stand for your beliefs. She also said that you must have the right convictions so that you can be a positive leader. This prompted me to think about our convictions as Rotarians and look at it from our perspective. And really, our four-way test has proven over time to be our litmus test for our convictions. Determining the truth is not a simple task. Neither are all the other tests, but doing so provides us with the wisdom. And as she said, based on evidence from the four-way test, we need to determine the best course of action as we go ahead. Good leaders also open doors for others, keep an eye out for those who are talented, and have the capacity to lead, and giving them the opportunity to shine demonstrates great leadership. Good leaders possess a great sense of humility. They have the capacity to listen to all sides and to base their judgments after weighing all the alternatives, are not afraid of being themselves at all times. I'd like to share with you a situation that happened a few years ago when I was still in graduate school in Washington, D.C. I was returning home to Jordan for the summer holidays and had a stopover in London. My connecting flight was about 14 hours after my arrival in London, and British Airways gave access to their business lounge to passengers who had to wait longer than 8 hours. So I walked and I sat next to a group of 5 nuns who were dressed in white. I started talking to them because I recognized their habits. The eldest was quite happy to listen to me talking about how much charity work I did and the time I went to their orders home for the extremely poor and infirmed in Amman. She listened and talked very little. She would ask me to bring her a glass of water or some sugar for her tea every now and then. 3 hours went by quickly, and it was time for them to board their flight. Just before they left, she touched my shoulder and said, "When you get to Amman, please visit our sisters and say hello." Just as she was walking out the door, a light bulb came on in my head. And I was like, oh my God, that's Mother Teresa. And the first thing that came to my head at the time was like, I was talking to her for about 3 hours and didn't realize who she was. Once I realized who she was already walking out of the lounge, and I didn't have a chance to tell her how sorry I was and how much I admired her. I'm telling you the story as an example of a great leader's humility from my own personal experience. Mother Teresa said, "Humility is the mother of all virtues, purity, charity, and obedience. It is in being humble that our love becomes real, devoted, and ardent. If you are humble, nothing will touch you, neither praise nor disgrace, because you know what you are. If you are blamed, you will not be discouraged. If they call you a saint, you will not put yourself on a pedestal." That encounter changed my life. From that day onward, I decided that I should spend more time listening than speaking, and to put aside one's ego and think of the greater good, just like everyone else, though. Sometimes I need a reminder of that I should listen before I speak. President-elect Shaker has given us an amazing theme for the year: serve to change lives. In order for us to maximize our service and to increase our impact worldwide, we must always remember that the Rotary Foundation is the spine that keeps us standing. In order for us to do our best and to maintain and grow our foundation, we need a strong and growing membership. Shaker's mantra for growing Rotary is "each one bring one." And what he means by that is ask someone to join you as a guest. If each of us brings in a guest, maybe 1 in 10 out of those guests will be converted into a Rotarian, and hopefully he can achieve his goal that membership will reach 1.3 million by the end of the next Rotary year. My vision is to have Rotary as the most recognized service organization in District 7080. If we look at our theme from last year, going on to this year and on to Shaker's theme, we notice that they complement each other perfectly. Rotary connects the world and opens opportunities to serve to change lives. What better example for the congruence of those 3 themes than our own Rotary Foundation? As I mentioned earlier, the Rotary Foundation is the spine that holds Rotary together. It's what enables us to connect the world and open opportunities to serve, to change lives. Let us remember our foundation and make sure that it's supported and sustained in order for us to do all that we can do. And just a quick reminder of our 6 areas of focus: fighting disease, growing local economies, promoting peace, saving mothers and children, supporting education, and providing clean water and sanitation. And as of July 1st, let us not forget that protecting the environment will be officially our 7th area of focus, and projects to support the environment will be eligible for global grant funding. Also remember that many people who care for the environment will also support by joining Rotary and Rotaract clubs that do the same. We're still this close. We celebrated Africa being polio-free this Rotary year. We must keep working to eradicate polio forever. Please keep in mind that governments around the world are asking Rotary to assist with COVID vaccination planning and delivery, especially in remote areas. The experience we gained in promoting the value and benefits of the polio vaccine will be utilized to educate many populations throughout the world. And Rotary's contact tracing methodology has proven to be very successful in tracing COVID cases. Rotary's vision, together, we see a world where people unite and take action to create lasting change across the globe in communities and ourselves. This is a vision that Rotary has put through, and that is very, very appropriate to what we're doing these days. Rotary's vision is implemented through our strategic priorities, which are to increase our impact, expand our reach, enhance participant engagement, and increase our ability to adapt, without forgetting Rotary's core values: fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership. The world today is not the same as it was when Rotary was founded in 1905. Demographics have shifted. The pace of change has accelerated, and technology has created new opportunities for connection and service. With the pandemic, these words have never been more true. What has not changed is the need for the values that define Rotary. Remember that those values will define us regardless of time. They're not time sensitive, and they don't change simply because technology changed. By honoring our past and embracing our future, we can evolve and keep Rotary not only relevant, but thriving. My vision is to focus on growing our membership, create high-impact partnerships, involve local communities, municipalities, and corporations in our activities by reaching out, community-focused events like our district conference, which will be held on May 28th, adopting combined public relations and membership strategies that are outwardly focused. I believe that a lot of times Rotarians, and we all know that, and we all feel that, we talk to each other, we tell each other our success stories. We meet at CLT, we meet at PETS, we meet at district conferences, and we tell each other how great we did. But we need to focus our storytelling outward, and we need to reach out to the community, because again, if we go back to our mission, the first word of our mission is together. So starting our, if we don't work together, if we don't work with our community, if we don't bring this together, then we don't really fulfill our mission. Bringing together our vision, our strategic priorities, and our core values is the key that would get us to move forwards. And the key word is together. Together, through fellowship, integrity, diversity, service, and leadership, we change lives. And this is the theme that I have decided to adopt this year. And the reason why is that it is a continuation theme. It continues on the themes of connecting people. It continues on the theme of opening opportunities. It continues on the theme of working together, of changing lives, of service, and by collaborating together, by bringing our communities together, by talking to each other, by working with other clubs, other service clubs within our clusters, within our communities, that we can increase the impact of our service. And when we look at changing lives, the first life that changes when we commit to service is our own, because definitely service is a great, I would say, it's a great motivator. And once you get involved and you start seeing the results of what you do, it makes you feel great. And it's like an endorphin. It's a very very strong motivator for me personally and for everyone I have seen in Rotary who continues to do service above self. You're leaders in your club, so lead by example. Reach out to your members, to your clusters, to your districts whenever you need to. Work together and support each other. Remember that the environment will be officially our 7th area of focus on July 1st. And I go back to that because the environment is a key area that a lot of people worry about. And from meeting with a lot of non-Rotarians and talking to them and asking them, what would be something that would bring you to Rotary? And many, many, many people have told me, especially younger people, the environment. So bringing it into our foundation as an area of focus and allowing us to work and to fund projects that are focused on the environment is a great addition to our toolbox. Don't forget that we must completely eradicate polio and that the longest mile, the last mile is the longest and hardest. We are still this close. It's not that many cases that are there, but those are the hardest. And unfortunately, there was some bad news from Afghanistan a couple of weeks ago. Another 3 of the people who do the inoculations were killed. And I just feel for those people very strongly because they go out there, they put their lives at risk in order to help children and in order to get this polio pandemic out of the way. Allow me to leave you with a message. It's a brief video from Jennifer Jones, and she would have liked to join every single meeting, every single training session, every single event that Rotarians put up. Unfortunately, she cannot do that, so she is sharing this following video with us.
I'm standing here at the most southern point of Canada. It's a spit of sand that dips into Lake Erie, one of the Great Lakes shared between Canada and the United States. It's a national park named by the French explorers, Point Pelee, meaning bald point because of this treeless V that dips towards the south. It's here that the metamorphosis of the monarch butterfly unfolds every year. It's when a small caterpillar goes into a protective cocoon and later breaks out to reveal itself as the regal monarch. And here we are today, each of us in our own cocoons, waiting for the day when once again we can spread our wings and fly. My dear Presidents-elect, we have spent much of this last year coping with what the world has placed before us. And what we have learned is new ways to take flight in service across the globe as the pandemic has continued. I am overjoyed that President-elect Shaker has turned the spotlight onto Rotary service at a time when the world needs us most. One of my favorite quotes comes from Albert Einstein, who said, "Strive not to be of success, but rather to be of value." There is so much value we can give to the world today. Preventing disease is one of our areas of focus, and ending polio has created a global infrastructure that can help bring this pandemic to an end. But just as important, Rotary's values and our ethos of service above self provide some of the greatest value of all. Together, we can help rebuild from these difficult times, and together, we illuminate hope. One of my experiences in Rotary helps to illustrate how that is possible. A few years ago, my husband Nick and I attended a district conference in Jordan. It was held just outside of Amman, and the opening ceremonies were in a beautiful amphitheater overlooking the Dead Sea. There were a few speeches, and then we sat and enjoyed a wonderful dinner under the stars. It was there that I was introduced to Dr. Mark Turpentine from Indianapolis. Mark was in the country to conduct a Gift of Life mission. They provide open heart surgery to children that wouldn't be able to normally access such a procedure. On the last day of our stay, just hours before heading to the airport, the governor asked if we'd like to visit Dr. Mark at the hospital. This was the first day of the surgical team mission, and I jumped at the chance. I was quickly dressed in surgical greens and then quietly entered the operating theater. And there was Dr. Mark performing surgery. I didn't want to breathe. He was standing here, there was a nurse over there, and an anesthetist over there. A few minutes later, he looked up and he said, "Jen, when did you come in?" Quietly, I replied, "Just a few minutes ago." And then he said, "Come on over and let me show you what I'm doing." So I walked up, and there was a patient, completely covered, with the exception of a small square opening over the heart. Dr. Mark was stitching a patch about the size of a quarter onto a hole in the heart. He introduced me to 6-month-old baby Selma, a refugee from Syria. I watched in amazement as he stitched with great precision, and every once in a while he would say to the anesthetist, "Warm it up a little." Finally, he finished stitching, and he jiggled the heart a bit to make sure there were no leaks. And then he looked over again and said, "Okay, warm it up." And at that moment, little Selma's heart started to beat. I hadn't noticed that her heart wasn't beating. And at that moment, I watched her come back to life. What a gift. And then I went out into the hallway and I met her parents, and I was able to tell them that I just saw Selma's heart beating, and that she is going to run, and she is going to play, and she is going to be great. That's how I see the world coming out of this pandemic. Rotary has a great opportunity to patch the world's heart, and we'll do that through our commitment to global health, to emerge from the chrysalis casing of the past year and further spread Rotary values, Rotary fellowship, and Rotary's endless commitment to service. Like the emerging monarch, we have the chance to rid ourselves of this cocoon and to take flight. We will exit this pandemic poised to build a better world, a better community, and to be better ourselves.
Isn't she awesome? Jennifer and I shared a similar moment. And if you remember in my opening presentation, I mentioned that I had also had my Rotary moment in the operating theater with Dr. Turrentine. It was the same operating theater, the same doctor, about 6 years apart that this had happened. And this is something that had changed my life. When you see the effect of what Rotary does, it really, really gives you thought. And the only way we can continue to do this, that we can continue to help the world, that we can continue to help children, and we change lives, is to be able to afford it. And in order for us to do that, we have to support our foundation with all of our hearts. Therefore, my message to you is to encourage every Rotarian, every Rotaractor to support our Rotary Foundation in as little or as much as possible. This is the only way that Rotary can continue to do great work in the world. And finally, in closing, I would like to thank our trainers. I would like to thank them in order of the training session. So thank you to Roger Mann, Uta Lindner, Ken Boyd, Brian Bennett, past District Governor Norm Binden, past District Governor Leslie Barmania, past President Aldo Vilanovic. And Leslie, I did not mean to make you Armenian today. I apologize for the spelling mistake. Dan Dubray, thank you very much also for the awesome team who put this all together, our CLT chairs and moderators. Thank you, Patricia Demek and Suzanne Binden, for all of your hard work. Thank you also to our production team and hosts, Darren Sweeney, Clarence Haverson, Mary Brady, and thank you to Rotaractors Anum and James who are the production trainees. Before I'm done, I would like to remind you that the Rotary District 7080 virtual conference will be coming on May 28th, and the district changeover and awards will be on June 23rd. The district conference, May 29th, it starts at 9 a.m., ends at 12:30. The theme is Take Care of Self, Each Other, and the Planet. Our guest speakers are our Rotary International Vice President, Valerie Wafer, past Rotary International President, Ian Risley, and our keynote speaker, who is an amazing motivational hypnotist, and his name is Boris Cherniak. Thank you very much, everyone. I wish you good luck. Go forth with the courage of your conviction, and remember that together we change lives.
District Governor-elect Rudy, we are looking forward to your year. Thank you so much for a great presentation and some words of wisdom that we can use going forward. I'd like to now officially declare Club Leadership Training closed.
Thank you, everyone.